And I am hitting good evening. Good evening. Welcome in. As you're coming in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let me get it going on.
Peace, everybody. Come on in. Come on in the room.
Right? Exactly.
Come on in the room.
Jesus is my doctor.
I see, hold on. Mycelium is my doctor. The remix.
Exactly, right? Good evening. As you're coming in, let us know that you're here. Hello, Facebook. I got IG, TikTok. Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all. Hey, we in here.
We are in here. Are you sharing yours, Zema, off of IG?
Let me see. I don't listen. I needed that masterclass. Okay. Um, I'm not good at this stuff, sis. I'm gonna need a class with you for real. Because you got this stuff down to science, and I really got to up my whole little zhuzh with this for 2026. So
Let's do
yeah,
it. Hey,
this is
as
so
you in, you said what?
I said this. I'm so analog in the digital world. I got to figure it out. So that's why I've been telling everybody to come to you. Go to Oasis. Go to Oasis Sanctuary. I've been telling everybody to you because I already know I ain't got it.
It's okay. Share, but you can share out your video. If you're you can share out. If you see mine on TikTok, just hit share and that will have them come to your page and they'll see the live. So at the bottom in the corner, the left hand corner, hey, come on in. Welcome in right hand corner, rather. Right hand corner. And you hit the live, hit the share. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm stuck on IG. My face is stuck on IG. Okay, there we go. Let us know where you're tuning in from as you're coming in. Welcome into the space. Do us a favor, like and share this video. Like and share. This is a conversation I think you want to be a part of. Hey, Gladys, welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, Latrice, welcome in. Hey, welcome from Cincinnati. Shanika. Hey, welcome, TikTok. How y'all doing? Good evening. Good evening. Hey, Sarah. Hey, somebody said, hey, Jesaira. Somebody know my name. Well, hello. How are you? We gonna give it a few more minutes. You all right, Zema? Is Zema stuck? I gotta see if my girl is okay. Y'all hold up. Zema might be stuck. Zema. Zema? I think she's stuck here. Hey, can you tell me something? Gladys, I'm the best. I said, thank you so much for sharing, Gladys. Thank you so much. Let me see if Zema is stuck. Let me check in on our guest. It's a few more minutes. You back? Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to go share on IG and stuff, so I guess it made my video pause.
Okay, it did. Okay, but you shared it. Yay, more people are coming in. Yay, come on in. I'm gonna get started when I see 25.
Couldn't figure it out on Facebook, but I did get it on IG. So
Okay.
it's
Hey, Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia, can you tell me something? Gladys here. What you want to tell me? I have $15. Wondering how I could give it to you. $150. I don't know who Gladys Harris is. So, hey, y'all. Hey. Welcome in. Soon as we get to 25, we're going to get started. I'm so excited that y'all are here today. Welcome on TikTok. Hey, we're on across all platforms tonight. So excited. Welcome in. I'm trying to do this without my glass. Hey, Angela. Hey, D Wood. Hey. 25. We at 25? Is my bae telling me we at 25? Because Rob is in the comments like 25. Does that mean we at 20? Because I don't see 25 up here.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, y'all. That hair is fire.
I can't see nothing, so I'm just rolling.
Your hair is fire. They say your hair is fire.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, y'all. You know, I try.
Ain't her hair? She's so pretty. Hey, do me a favor over in TikTok world. If y'all could like and share and give me some love, right? TikTok be the hardest ones to engage. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started. I wanted to get started first with a grounding exercise, and then we're going to go into our conversation tonight. Once again, if you have not liked this video already, I'm asking that you like it, that you share it, that you tell your neighbors. You know how they say in church, tell your neighbor.
Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Neighbor, share this video.
Share and hit the like button, neighbor.
Yes, hit this like button. Come on in the room. Hey. Okay. All right. So let's just get really, really comfortable for a second. Allowing your body to connect, your feet to connect to the floor around you, connecting to the earth. Relaxing your back up against the chair wherever you're seated. Allowing your hands to fall into your laps. And just begin to breathe naturally. Connecting with your breath. Allowing yourself to enjoy the gift of presence, the here and now. And maybe in this moment, you take the opportunity to extend gratitude for everything that has happened today. And as we prepare to go into our discussion tonight, perhaps you grab an intention. It could be to understand whatever your intention is, to be enlightened, to be encouraged, curiosity, allow it to flow in this moment. And as we take 3 deep cleansing breaths, I want to invite you on the inhale to imagine a beautiful bright light dissipating any tension in your body, and exhaling any tension. So together, let's inhale and exhale. Two more times, inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale. And if you closed your eyes, just open your eyes and rotate around. All right. How was that? How you feel?
Feel good. That was very nice. Thank you.
Great. So we set an intention, and then we set a container for truth, love, for curiosity to be explored tonight. Welcome into the space. I am Lady Jesaira of the Oasis Sanctuary. I'm happy you feel great. Wonderful. I'm happy that was great for you all. Make sure TikTok you're liking this. Let me know in the comments that you're liking this. Say hey. We set a container for curiosity and learning to take place. And I just kind of want to give some backstory as to how we ended up here. On December 31st, I did a live called the E in Leadership. And what prompted the live was I was watching Avatar. And y'all might say I'm late to the Avatar party, but that's okay. All right. because I got it when I needed to get it. I got the message when I needed to get it. But I was watching Avatar, and this was about 3:00 in the morning. I was having one of those nights, Zema. I couldn't sleep. I was having a perimenopausal night, okay?
Okay.
I was watching Avatar, and as I was watching it, for those who have seen Avatar, put one in the chat. If you've seen Avatar, one in the chat. One in the chat. I was watching Avatar, and something stuck out to me about those people in the underground world and how they connected. They were not like the common people. They were melanated people, and they connected to the earth to find the tree of life, actually, to find guidance, to understand war and war tactics, to understand nature, how to grow and expand their land. And as I was watching it, I began to think about how we are so, and how they lived according to the seasons. They would look at the sky and they discerned what was happening around them. And I began to reflect upon how we are so constricted to time. Okay. So much so that time becomes an enemy to our true evolution and expansion in my mind. And I'll tell you why. So as I was thinking about how we're preparing for the new year and this Gregorian calendar that we've put in place that kind of like tells us what to do and when to celebrate, I began to ask myself, what would it be like if we lived according to the seasons? If we listen to earth, and I'm not talking about the worship of earth, I'm talking about the acknowledgement of the role that earth plays in our lives as human beings. What if we paid attention to what earth was saying and what earth required of us, and we began to move accordingly? What would life be like? And I was having this conversation with myself because it seems like we live in a time where we like to be led by people. We need leaders. We need authority figures, right? We don't like to be intuitively or self-led. We like to have other people tell us what to do. I was raised in the church. So this is something that I've seen play out over and over again. You have the pastor, the leader, the prophet telling you what to do, and you develop no sense of self-trust and self-leadership. The thing about this Avatar movie, you see the interconnectedness of how leadership works, beginning with self-trust. And you saw this happen with the character. His name was Jake or Justin. I don't remember his name, right?
Yeah.
But he was what was his name?
Jake. Yeah.
It was, yeah. So he was, go ahead, Jesaira, go ahead. He was a part of the normal world, right? And so I wanted to have a conversation because it led me to thinking about the Mycelium network and what's happening in the underground in real time. And how if we are, hey, Destiny, if we are in tune to that, what and how could our lives elevate, expand, and emerge? And what if the new year for us was March 20th? Because that's the Earth's right new year versus what man has told us. So I said all that because I wanted to set the stage. Is that okay? Did that bore y'all? Okay, thank you. Like. Did I do okay, Zema? Did I do okay?
No, you nailed it. You nailed it. I think it's a great starting point. Great starting place.
Okay. So I wanted to bring in, for those who don't know me, once again, I'm Lady Jesaira. I am the proud owner of the Oasis Sanctuary. I happen to be an integrative professional therapist, licensed therapist. I'm also a certified life coach, but I'm also an eclectic therapist because I also am trained in Reiki. Okay. I'm trained in somatic sound healing. I have expanded because I know the traditional therapy isn't enough. So I'm an eclectic Black therapist, right? I'm embracing all of the things to help my people heal, right? So you come to me, you're not going to get a traditional talk therapy, all right? You're not going to get that from me. You're going to get some meditation, you get some music, you're going to get an oracle reading, you're going to get a couple of things, all right? Because that's me. All right. So I want to introduce myself, and I want to introduce my special guest who's here with me. I'm going to allow her to tell you more about herself, but I came in contact with her for two reasons. Now I understand them. So two reasons. The first reason was because, and I'll let her talk more about this, I felt drawn to a journey of plant medicine. And this is the first time I've told this publicly. And it's because you put it out there, Zema. I was trying to, and I was on at the time on the shamanic Reiki journey. And so part of that was me connecting to earth and really understanding some things that I did not understand, but I needed to understand. And this is the person that I was led to. The spirit led me to, God led me to. And ever since we've been connected. Now, funny thing is, it feels more or less like now she's a sister who's become a friend. I call her my shaman, but she's like a sister who has become a friend because I also was attuned my Reiki master from Zema. So Zema, tell us about who you are, please, and all of the things. Welcome, Zema, everybody. Zema. Woo!
Yes, peace and wellness. I am Zema Love Fire. A lot of people know me as Sheikah Zema Love Fire. And I am a spiritual practitioner, to say in the small sense, I guess, or not in a small sense, but in a small description, but spiritual advisor. I do shamanic work. I'm going on 14 years now, Reiki master teacher. I'm also the founder and director of the Indigo School of Light Institute for the Golden Age. And, I work with the children. I do rites of passage programs. I work with the babies as a doula as well. I feed us, I make food, healthy, holistic food. I'm also a herbalist. And I'm just tuned in to everything that has to do with plant medicines and things like that as well. So my title, I go by more so than just saying a shaman, is a mom, but not in the sense of mom, mother like you, but yes, in that sense, a mom in a spiritual sense, but that means mother of mycelium is how I remember myself in this space. And this is not my first lifetime doing this work as well. So it's something that's come very naturally to me in this lifetime, and just working with my different teachers and mentors, it was like, girl, you got it. So, here I am, so that's where I'm at with it. This journey started for me in the winter of 2012. And if a lot of people don't remember 2012, it was like a big time where there was this vortex and there was a lot of, changes going on, but it was what was called the change of the guard. Every 26,000 years on this planet, we have an upgrade. And so 2012 was that 26-year upgrade for us. And that energy came in and just whoop, whoop, just snatched me. I got snatched. So I got thrown into plant medicines. I got thrown into becoming a Reiki master and getting all types of wellness and healing certifications. And from that, here I am, still 14, about to be 14 years this winter, still going strong.
Love it. So I had Zema come because, like she said, this is her thing. And I, felt like I could have taken it deeper, but because this is her lane and I honor it, I wanted to bring her on because I believe she adds so much value. And plus, we've been talking about working, doing something together. So this was an opportunity to do that. So Zema, can we start off by first really explaining what the Mycelium Network is and how it ties into humanity? How about that? How it ties into humanity?
Absolutely. Well, where I want to start is the common textbook definition. Okay, we'll start there. The common textbook definition is the fungi, in the ground that connects everything together. And as we know, the fungus that we call mushrooms is the fruiting body of the fungi. So right. Everything is connected all the way across this planet by this network of fungi that we, that's called the hypeas is one of those words where it's like, but yeah, so all of this stuff is connected through the mycelium network. So we talking about the tree, we're talking about everything, is connected by this, but that is the basis of the internet. These are electrical pulses that connects everything. There's signals that are being shared between everything, and so including ourselves. So this is the reason why things like meditation and stuff like that is really important, to be able to really ground into that network. But then, so on the other side of that, a more expanded definition is also looking at it as the blueprint for the internet, because that's the original blueprint, but that's on the Ethernet side. So when we talk about the five senses, we're getting into talking about the fifth sense is being ether, or the Ethernet being connected to the mycelium network. So what that says is that there's also a psychic connection that we carry to that network outside of just the physical connection as well. And so that's where the real magic starts to happen at, when you get into that side of it.
So can I stop you real fast, because something came up? This is not even on my notes, but can I stop you? Because one of the things that I'm beginning to understand is a lot of people feel a bit indifferent about AI, right? And technology. But the more I'm understanding how the earth works, I'm understanding that AI and technology are spiritual networks.
Yes. Well, over on the spiritual side, we call it the ancestral, intelligence. So, because when you think about that, this is the reason why. So when you think about someone who transitions and somebody who gets buried, initially back in time, even Islamic communities still practice where when you transition, they, clean your body and you're in the ground within 24 hours. There's no, all of the other stuff that they do with bloodletting and embalming and all this stuff that doesn't exist in some spiritual, paths and things like that, because there's an understanding in ancient times too, that when you put the body back directly into the ground, you get back into energetically, your energy goes back into the mycelium network. So
and that's why the spirit never dies. I'm sorry.
Right. You're being added back, in the physical aspect of the mycelium network. So that's why on the spiritual side of things, being buried in a coffin actually keeps you from being reconnected to the mycelium network in a way. So it's really, really interesting.
Can y'all take a pause? If y'all following so far, can you put a 1 in the chat? I know we try not to make it too heavy, because both of us can be super deep. So
right. That's what I'm trying to because it's so deep. Yeah, it really is.
Put a 1 in the chat if you're following along. A 1 in the chat. A 1 in the chat. Hey, TikTok, y'all ain't saying nothing. 1 in the chat. 1 in the chat. Hey, how y'all doing? TikTok is y'all so rude, and come on now. Come on, Tick in the top. You got one. Got 1 in the chat. You said what?
Ain't talking.
No, Tick ain't talking. They ain't even talking. They ain't doing either one. Okay. All right. So let's take it a little further before I get into my questions.
Okay.
Expound upon, this is a question. Expound upon how the mycelium network is an extension of ancestral wisdom and the divine feminine.
Because everything is stored there. So again, like I said, so let's talk about the mycelium network in the sense of what it can exchange, right? So I think that's the best way to answer that question. So we're talking about the exchanging and sharing of memories.
Yes.
We're talking about ancient wisdom.
Yes.
This is why they say nothing is ever truly lost. Just because they stop putting something in a book does not mean that we can't access it. Okay. So that's the part of it. So we're talking about the ability to transfer and exchange energy along with, nutrients and all those things, but also there's an electrical pulse. There's electricity that is also being exchanged. So with that being said, like I said, this is an Ethernet. The original enter, we got internet, then we got internet, right? So this is the original internet that is connected to everything. Everybody is a part of the all. And the all is a part of source, and source is a part of the mycelium network, right? So everything is connected to that. So one breath, one sun, we got one moon. So all of that stuff is a part of the mycelium network. So there's no disconnecting there. That's what I'm saying. When people feel like when people feel isolated or feel very much alone, it's because you have forgotten that connection.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is the reason why the meditation piece is so important, is because it allows you to get into the space of tapping in psychically into that network, right? Yeah. Along with you being able to do the grounding work, walking on the ground, barefoot, hugging trees, all of that stuff is what we're being taught, you know, either directly or indirectly, about how to connect with nature. So we know that there's a divine presence, an omnipresence. So what does that omnipresence look like when it's in nature, right? So it looks like the carrying of messages and the carrying of memories and the carrying of wisdom. So that's how it connects to the ancestral realm. So everything is distributed through that energetically. So if you ask me, as a person who has also been a child of Ifa since 2008, practicing that, I would tell you that even when you do ancestral work, that work is going into the Ethernet to the energy of your ancestors that are still there. That is the communication link in the first place. So every time you give an offering, that goes into the mycelium network and goes to those particles. If you even look at, okay, you know, just the energetic particles of us that's connected to that. You think about all of the I don't know, millions, trillions, we can say trillions plus over millions of years of human life, right? That is all connected in there. Yeah. So it's a lot of history.
It is a lot of history. And you're bringing up so much stuff. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go. When you were talking about how everything, the mycelium network, it interconnects us, and when we feel isolated, my mind immediately went to how the Western culture has taught us how to think in terms of silos, right? Has taught us how to think independently versus interdependently. So that conditioning and that coding, right, has kept us from really being able to connect and remember who we really, really, really are. I was reading something that said that my mycelium network was similar to, like, they referred to it as the nervous system of the earth. Would you agree with that? The nervous system of the earth?
Yeah. And that's the reason why it regulates your nervous system when you go out in nature and when you ground and when you hug the tree. That's what you're doing. You are calming your nervous system by utilizing the mycelium network. Even when you get into using plant medicines, that also helps to heal and calm the nervous system as well.
Yeah, listen, maybe I'll post a picture after this live. On my birthday last year, I was led to go to a park and to find a tree. And when I got to the park, Spirit said, I'm going to show you which tree you're to go to. And I found this tree. It happened to be a red oak tree. And I went to this red oak tree and I began to put my back up against the tree. And immediately I felt the support of the earth. Now listen, you ain't got to believe me. Just try it. Y'all think some people, you know, a little cray for doing this, but there is something very healing and very restorative in doing this. I literally put my back up against the tree and began to weep, but I immediately felt like I was being held, immediately felt like I was being seen. And then when I did the research, I wanted to know why that tree. Why was I drawn to that tree? There was some ancestral history that tied back to Africa with that particular tree. And I was floored because the tree, like you said, holds memory. It holds memory. You know what I'm saying? It's wise. It's sage, right? You know what I'm saying?
And let me add to what you're saying. So let's go back to the Avatar movie where they had the home tree, I believe they called it. Would gather around and so I know, and I've seen the first and second Avatar. I haven't went to see the third one yet, but maybe I'll get to that very soon. But I know that when they had the tree, it was glowing, and they showed the mycelium, in there, and everybody's sitting around. And not only that, just the whole fact that they had the piece of their tail that locked into the mycelium network, and they were directly speaking to their ancestors and receiving messages and wisdom and guidance through that process. So aside from what you're saying, I also want to tie in the fact that think about pictures that you've seen of deities and like the Buddha. So now the Buddha received high levels of intelligence and spiritual messages and wisdom because he would meditate under the Bodhi tree. It was called the Bodhi tree for long periods of time. So, and he's sitting Indian style on the ground, leaning against this Bodhi tree. Okay, how many? So when you look at like Kuan Yin and all of these different deities, they're sitting on top of lotus flowers. All of this is representative of them being tapped into the mycelium network, and this is where they're pulling their wisdom and understanding and tapping into that omnipresence through that network. It's always in our face, but we don't really always know what we're looking at. So we're at a place now where we're able to decode those things and be like, oh, that's the message in that. That's the subconscious message or the hidden message in the pictures and in the movies that they've been giving us. They tell us. But if you're not looking at these things through your third eye and you're not in your awareness, you don't see that.
This is so good. This is so good. If y'all are enjoying this conversation, just put 1 in the chat. Y'all enjoying it? Are we flowing? Are y'all feeling like we're not too deep? 1. I said 1. I don't want us to be too deep because once again, we can go there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we still, we might be a little under the surface, but I think because I teach this, I'm always trying to make sure that it's digestible and in layman terms for the everyday person. So yeah, I think we're good.
You think we're good? When you were talking about the deities, though, because I have Christianity as my background and my upbringing, my mind immediately went to Jesus on the cross and how some people say it was a tree.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but the cross was made out of wood, right?
And that still was earth, right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So immediately, that's where I was going. So immediately I said to myself, oh my God, this sacrifice was still connecting to the earth. And what if that was a part of the power? Because the other piece to the mycelium network is the rebirth happens in the death, in the darkness, you understand what I'm saying?
Right, but so let's take that further. So then we can take that and say this is why crystals is a thing.
Exactly.
Because the crystals have the mycelium network energy in it. So that's why we wear crystals, is because we're also channeling that energy through a psychic connection that is still holding. Okay. And so then we can also talk about frankincense and myrrh, which was one of the gifts that Jesus received as a child, right? So we're now also talking about other herbs and things that are a part of the mycelium network that are healing modalities as well. So yeah, all of that. It's right there. It's right there.
The thing that keeps us from seeing it in plain sight, what keeps us from seeing it in plain sight is the fact that we are afraid to not only explore, but we're afraid to go with what we feel. There's some of us who intuitively feel connected to nature, but there's a part of us that we won't do it because if we do it, somebody's going to think I'm a little crazy, or they're going to think that I've left the faith. They're going to think that I'm worshiping the earth. They're going to think all of the things. So if we could get back that intuitive nature is the pulling and the drawing of earth to ultimately empower you.
Exactly. And so I want to jump back a moment, because I don't think I touched on how that connects to the divine feminine, because that was part of the question that you asked me as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the womb. Yeah, yes, I'm happy you're going back. Yes.
So I actually did a talk with another one of my good friends, the chakra therapist, I did a talk about the mycelium womb.
Yeah.
And so when we talk, first of all, let's talk about the fact that when a woman gives birth, right? You know, the placenta looks like a tree. Okay. So that's one thing. And also, there's a reason why we talk about women as being the most intuitive of the sexes. It's not a sexist thing, you know, it's just what is. And it's because we carry life. So we're very much connected to that Ethernet energy. We're very much connected to that ancestral energy as well, because not only that, the ancestors can connect with us through that Ethernet electrical pulses and systems. So when we carry a child, this is the reason why people be like, oh, that child act just like my mama who passed such and such years ago. And you have these children that have attributes of ancestors in the family. It's because it's in the bloodline. It's a part of the family mycelium network, because see, you have a familial ancestry that's tied to the mycelium network as well. So your whole family is a part of that. So we can always birth back into our bloodline people who lived from before that came back through the mycelium womb. So when we talk about, you know, if you ask me, because everywhere you walk, you're walking on top of mycelium, at least, you know, a connection of 300 miles everywhere you walk. Okay. We're fungi. Humans are fungi. We're also the fruit of the earth in another sense, you know, because the inner is the outer and the outer is the inner. So we're manifestations of that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why 3-4 generations later, somebody can, you know, be like, oh, you look like great grandmama so-and-so, you know, this black and white picture, you know, because, you know, you're a part of that network. That's your familial network.
And that's also why you can get further into your family line, the 3rd or 4th generation, and heal trauma that goes back to four generations back, 40 years back, because ultimately it's interconnected. And the person who is aware, the person who is sensitive, the person who is attuned and receiving the clues is the one then that can stop and initiate the healing that is needed, because the healing is there. You understand what I'm saying?
It's that right. So we're talking about being able to trigger remembrance.
Yeah.
That's really what a lot of all of this is about, is the fact that we've forgotten so much. We've been stripped from so many things. We've been kept from so many things hidden from us. So now that we understand what this network is all about, everything for the powers that be that don't want us to know, their whole program has been about knocking us off of our remembrance and cutting us on. So when we talk about taking things out of history books, when we talk about, you know, removing certain information, when we talk about all of this stuff that's hidden in the Vatican and all of these different places, like, what is all of that for? You know, and when we talk about what's happening in the chemtrails, and we talk about these genetically modified foods and organisms and synthetic things and all of that kind of stuff that starts to affect us, you know, plastics, introducing plastics into our lives, and aluminum foils and all of these different things that impede our neurotransmitters in our own brain.
Yes.
You know, so, but let me tell you about the intelligence of the omnipresence, though, because see, the intelligence of the omnipresence said, okay, I see what y'all doing. Matter of fact, the omnipresence was so far ahead of all of this that the plant medicine kingdom was like, okay, bet, we're going to give y'all a cheat sheet. Since they want to play, we're going to make sure that y'all still be able to tap in. So here's this ayahuasca, here's this San Pedro, here's this Hape, here's this psilocybin, because we're going to make sure that you can trip the system. That's why I tell people these plant medicines is a way for you to be able to trip the system, because they don't want you to understand it. They don't want you to tap into it. They don't want your nervous system to be at peace. So at the end of the day, when we do these plant medicines, we are we're jumping the system that they put in place to keep us from it, so that we can still be able to connect. And also because because there was a time when we didn't need these things. Let me be clear. There was a time when we did not need to use plant medicines because we were already in tune. We were speaking telepathically, and we didn't have to use words as much, and all of these different kind of things. Because if you get into Lemuria and studies of Atlantis, they'll tell you that those were telepathic people. They did not even need to speak because they didn't have anything to hide. Being able to speak became more prevalent when somebody decided we had something to hide. Okay, so the cheat sheet, if you will, I call plant medicines the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet allows us to bypass the false systems that has been put in place to keep us from tapping in. So you can bring those walls down and be able to reconnect to the Mycelium network and reconnect to those messages and reconnect to those aha moments that you need, reconnect with that ancestral energy and all of that.
Right, because if we keep our nervous system dysregulated, then we're reactive and we're fighting each other.
Exactly. And so, so the powers that be, they know that. Yeah. They've always known that. And that's a large part of their life's work, is to interfere with our life work. So that's the spiritual war that we're in. That is the spiritual war. The spiritual war is you fighting to remember you.
That's it. And that is the framework now of my healing work. It's my whole methodology now is remembering who you were, because I realize what has been taken from us is the memory of who we always were. Right. That's been stolen from us. When I was talking about the sons of Issachar in the Bible, is they did not rely upon cell phones. They didn't rely upon, they were so connected, right? And we're so disconnected. Yeah. And then if we take that further, and you were talking about the foods, so if we're eating foods that are GMOs, then that's a further block in our ability to align and attune.
Exactly. It's one more barrier. Tampering with the water and what do you, let me tell you something. What do you think fluoride really is about? See, this is the reason why we have to go there, is because why is fluoride in our water? So let me tell you something. In my background, I'm a certified dental assistant, okay? Yeah. I did that for 10 years until I moved into something else in my life. I did that in my 20s. All right. Yeah. I'm 45 now. So, yeah. But my thing is this. Fluoride is known to be a third eye and pineal gland attacker. It attacks the pineal gland. It attacks the spiritual body to where you're not able to tap in, and you have a harder time with your cognitive abilities, and and being able to focus and really meditate and different things like that. It takes away from your spiritual body. So it has nothing to do with your teeth. Fluoride does absolutely. I've had conversations with dentists that I work with. They know. They know.
It has nothing to do with cleaning the teeth. Are you serious?
No, and as a matter of fact, fluoride actually over time can actually start to break down the enamel of the teeth.
Now I knew
we
that.
have no business brushing our teeth with fluoride, but here's the thing. But then they turn around and put it in the water. So it's in our municipal water. So you mean to tell me that, first of all, explain to me, how is it that, okay, if you put it in a toothpaste, I'm brushing my teeth because it's supposed to help my teeth. So then why is it in the water? How does it help my teeth if I'm drinking it in the water? Because you're not telling us the swish of our mouth. You see what I'm saying? I'm not brushing my teeth with it like that. So the question becomes, then what are we really talking about here?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And my mind is going back to how I said this conversation with myself started. I've been thinking about Avatar and how the normal people were so hell-bent on stopping how they were doing life because it was a disruption to their plan. It was a disruption to their plan to take over. So my mind is going, my mind is going back because what does it say? Art is an imitation of life.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
they're putting it there in front of us, and we're missing the clues, and they call different ones of us too deep, to this, to that, and it's like we're missing the clues and the cues.
Right. And let me put you on another one. Who came up with AstroTurf? What is that about?
Tell me, talk to me.
When you talk about the fact that people got fake grass in their yards, even that's a thing. You know, you have so many people that have fake grass and this, all of these fake things in nature, where you're not even walking on real grass anymore in certain places. Like, so you have to be really, really choicey about where you're going and what's real and what's not. Because they'll have you sitting right out there on some AstroTurf and you think you're sitting on grass and you're not.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, these comments blowing up. Let's see what they talking about. See these comments blowing up. Can you see them?
No, I can't. I'm not. Yeah, you gotta fill me in. What's happening?
Okay, I'll put it there. Can you see that now? Can you see it? Said yes, the Mycelium network is the nervous system of the planet. And if you miss that, you miss everything. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. She blowing it up. It moves information before you ever see a result, and that is how manifestation really works, by not wishing but by signaling. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Signaling, yes. connecting, right? The connection, right? Absolutely. Yes, ancestral work is tied to destiny. You learn leadership without ego and magic without theatrics. We're going to talk about ego in just a second. Yes, yes, and yes. Go ahead. Zema, you look like you want to jump.
Yeah, I'm saying even think about like going back to Avatar, because the movie Avatar is a really, really great place to go to and going back and forth about this.
Yes.
When Jake was being officially and this was in the first one, I believe, when he was officially toggled to that body where that now became his official body outside of the human body. Remember, they had to lay him down.
They did
at the mother tree.
They right? did.
And then all of the mycelium came and, covered him. And so they gave him the wisdom. He was getting all of that information from the Mycelium network that was connected to that familial energy of the Na'vi people.
Yes.
So that he could be a part of who they really were energetically as well as physically.
Exactly.
Now, let me take you another. So now we can go to the Black Panther party when they was dealing with the plant. I forget what the plant was called in Black Panther, that they was drinking the tea from the plant.
I don't remember.
Somebody can remind us, but remember they would cover them up and they drank the tea from the little plant. And then that's when they went into the ancestral realm. But remember, when they went into that, they kind of looked like they had their skin kind of looked something like that. And they had to get into the earth. Like they laid on the ground and they covered them with dirt. Remember? Because they're letting you know that that was them symbolically saying, okay, we put you in the ground a little bit and then we cover you with this dirt while you're in there. So you're connecting to the Mycelium network and to the ancestral realm of the Mycelium network. And then we go into the scene where they're talking to their ancestors. It's in the movies. They have to tell us. They have to tell us, but they give it to us in this fantasy story instead of just telling us. They show it to us and they play with it in movies.
They said that happened again in the last one. I haven't seen the last one yet. Avatar 3. I ain't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to. I haven't seen Avatar because I'm assuming you're talking about Avatar 3. I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't seen 3 yet either. So I'm gonna catch me a matinee on Monday. I gotta get it in. And I've been trying to get that. It's my schedule. It's just been my schedule. But yeah, it's definitely on my list of things to do in the near future.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's so many there's so many things in these movies, in the last so many years, that we don't always pay attention to, but they show it to us every time. They show it to us every time. And even with even if we go into the matrix, we can go into the matrix and talk about the mycelium network as well.
Listen,
because
now
the whole city of Zion was under the ground.
Right. So now here's the deal. I need to go back to Matrix because I didn't have a great appreciation for the Matrix years ago when I watched it. So now I have to go back because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Because what we're talking about with the Matrix is you have the agents who represent the metaverse, the false reality that was created that they want everybody to live in, which is what we have when we talk about the metaverse, the internet and social media, all of these things that are distracting to us, up against being free. So the people of Zion were still natural and still connected to the earth and still part of the mycelium network and still knew who they were. So that the Matrix series is all about the false up against the real blueprint and the information exchange. So when we talk about consuming plant medicines, we're talking about going in and out of different doorways, being in and out, but still being connected to the consciousness. Because when you really tap into the mycelium network and you're reminded, you remember who you are, you go through that whole process that Neo went through, where he had to pull all those things out the back of his head, and then he was his original self.
Yeah.
The original man, original woman, you went back to being your original connected self. And so they're trying to kill him because he's come. So this is the thing. This is why you get targeted when you come into these higher sciences, is because you become dangerous, because now you can awaken other people and that's not what they want. So you get targeted. Listen, I can tell you that every 3 to 4 years, I get attacked online, something terrible. It happened a year and a half ago. It's like all of a sudden I got a bunch of people just making fake accounts. All of a sudden people are attacking me in my comments and all kinds of stuff. Like, I go through it. I get attacked. I get attacked.
Oh, listen.
But I also know how to deal with that. So,
get attacked too. Oh my God. This is so good. We have so veered from our notes, but this is so good. How do you feel about this? How you feel? How you feeling about this moment right now, Zema?
I feel good, and that's what I said. I have very little notes because I'm just going off of what's in my spirit, what I've been through, what I've experienced, and just sharing off the top of my head and just keeping it really organic. Because it's really not a conversation that's textbook, in a sense. And this is a conversation that comes from experience best. It's best to come from experience.
It is,
because I've read books and I've studied and I've done the book work side of it as well. And that didn't teach me what the mycelium network really was. It didn't teach me the whole full rounded reality of what it is. Until I started to delve into that and walk into that for myself is when I truly understood what was really going on.
Yeah. So why is this such a challenge for us to enter into? Because when I hear us talking about this is so empowering. This is so informative. This is so refreshing. Why is it such a challenge for us? I mentioned the silos before, and it kind of takes me into the mind of untrained or unmanaged ego that says we have to do things independent of earth or independent of assistance. But I'm curious about, why do you think this is such a challenge for us to yield to this way and this type of self-trust and self-leadership?
They say between 25 and 27 is when your brain is fully developed, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so they do such a good job of indoctrinating you so young to be anti-nature. Because now, as a doula, like in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, you know, like immunization shots, you might have got 1, maybe 2. In the 80s, it got up to 10, 12. In the 90s, it got up to, you know, 15, 16. Now there is 72 immunization shots that they want a child to have by the age of 2 or 3. So when we talk about the fact that we're pumping metals and we're pumping all of these chemicals and stuff into children at a young age, the fact that they're not talking about the fact that like infant leukemia is up by 300% because of the chemicals that are in the formula that they're feeding these children who are not being breastfed. So there's more chemicals than there is milk, you know, powder in these formulas. And so what I'm saying is all of these things is attacking the brain, attacking the third eye and the pineal gland. It's attacking the nervous system. It's attacking the whole body system, the organs. So these kids are getting autism. These kids are getting learning disabilities. They can't focus. They can't sit still. Then we turn around and start feeding them sugary foods in the morning. They're eating sugar smacks and frosted flakes and stuff with, you know, 76 grams of sugar with 1 cup worth, you know, and then we're giving them, you know, all these unhealthy, you know, things. Our body doesn't digest cow's milk well. And there's all of these things that lead to us being disconnected is what I'm saying. So to answer the question, it's the culture that we now have been, I don't want to say adopted because we didn't adopt it. It was forced on us. This indoctrination process of attacking us as infants and youth, in our youth, and also attacking the mother. When I had clients, when I was working with my doula client, and I'm not judging anybody if you got any type of vaccine. I got vaccines as a child, but I didn't do the COVID or anything. But my point is, they were trying to force that even on my pregnant clients, and we had to keep reminding them that we're not interested in that. And then they want to come back and ask you again after you're on the drugs and you all woozy and they know that you're more impressionable. It's very, they have a whole system in place. So it's not only even after you're born, they're trying to do all these things to you, but even while your mother is pregnant, they're trying to pump these chemicals into her body as well. Yeah. So we have a chemical problem. We have a chemical problem because GMOs, genetically modified organisms, this is chemical based stuff. Our foods that have all these extra ingredients that aren't food is chemicals. So everything is chemicals. The problem we're having and why we can't connect is because we're ridden with too many chemicals that are designed to shut us down energetically and spiritually. So a lot of people just can't do it because they have too many things. This is the reason why fasting is important. This is the reason why, you know, cleansing and fasting and again, reclaiming your mind through meditation, reclaiming your mind through connecting with nature, reclaiming your mind through working with plant medicines. And specifically, I will say psilocybin or what we call shrooms, because again, the shrooms are the fruit body of the fungi. So we're talking about when you do psilocybin, you're tapping directly into that mycelium network as a medicine for you. And so when we do psilocybin, it is restructuring and reconnecting and creating new stem cells and reprogramming the mind over time. So everything that is about regrowing your stem cells and restoring your memory and healing your body and connecting you to the omnipresence and to nature is somehow illegal.
But you know, ain't that funny? See, oh, that's so funny. But I was gonna add this to it with regards to the dysfunction of the brain. This is why I do a lot of nervous system repair and nervous system regulation. Because what that does is that helps to repair the brain through neuroplasticity. A lot of people don't understand how the brain works. So the brain can rewire itself when it is exposed to something new, and it's exposed to something new repeatedly. And so meditation does that, but also when you intentionally put yourself in a situation where you're training your brain to do something different, it creates that new fork in the road, if you will, that new fork in the road for you to access emotion regulation. Because the truth of the matter is, if my nervous system is always hijacked and highly dysregulated, I cannot make sound decisions. Do you hear me? Because it gets stuck. It gets stuck. While it needs to come to my prefrontal cortex, it gets stuck.
And you also right, and you need to be able to have a functioning body to be really, to be human is to be fully functional.
Exactly.
And
But
so a lot of us aren't really truly having a full human experience because we're somewhat android, okay? We're somewhat robotic now. We're somewhat we have all these other things that are keeping us from our humanity. You know, a lot of these things are keeping us in a mammalian brain state. You know, some people, you know, so when we talk about like what is happening if you're a person that likes to take life? What does that mean? What does it mean to be a serial killer? Where does that stem from?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about somebody who is definitely not honoring life and not respecting life and is not tuned in. And something you said made me want to go back to something I had got away from when I was talking about plant medicines being the cheat sheet. Because and I said that we didn't always have to use these things, but the intelligence of the omnipresence already knew that a lot of this stuff was going to happen, that we was going to need these loopholes, right? So the plant medicine is the loopholes for us to reconnect and trip the system. So with that being said, we used to be able to naturally do it through just being able to find that state of samadhi and connect to nature and meditate. And we were still natural, living off the land. We didn't have, you know, fake lights and you know, normal, just the stuff that we have, you know, that is all artificial things. So we were still very much connected. But now, because we have to worry about being on what I call the 30-day cycle, everything is due every 30 days. All your utility bills are due every 30 days. You know, all of that. Your rent is due every 30 days. And so you having to maintain and keep a job, look after your children, be a spouse to someone, or maintain a relationship, you know, and doing household things, running errands, keeping your car up, all of these kind of things. When do we have time to just go and lean up against that Bodhi tree like the Buddha did and be able to just be in our own peace and connect? We are not afforded that. We have to try to create a life that can afford us to be able to do that. And if you can't, you probably don't get an opportunity to really do that much. So this is the reason why, okay, I may not be able to meditate for 8 to 12 plus hours a day to really kind of get into the pocket of those things. But what I can do is I can sit with one of these plant medicines for 6 to 8 hours, and I can go and I can journey and I can get some stuff and get some messages and come back and bring it over here on this side of things and be able to utilize those things.
This is good. This is good. The honoring and I'm gonna put up a few questions in just a second. There's one, but the honoring. A lot of us are taught to be one-dimensional. And anything that requires multidimensionality, we struggle with the thought of that. So honoring ourselves, spirit, soul, body, or being able to be in the earth realm and then in the spirit realm, and then all of the different conscious layers of and levels of consciousness that we have access to, our brain, when we don't expose it and when we don't honor the curiosity, right, it keeps us confined and keeps us restricted. And so we, by not honoring, right, not honoring all of the parts of us, because we start judging these different parts. And I'm speaking from experience with regards to church and religion. You get so tunnel on, hey, this is the way. Polarized thinking, which is a part of the matrix. Polarized thinking, right, that keeps us from the totality of living life. So we're living in chronic stress. We're living under this chronic sense of pressure. We're not really truly living. We're just kind of existing and functioning. right? And that builds up toxins in and of itself, because when your nervous system is dysregulated, that's where 75% of disease come from.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
anyway, here you have something to add.
Huh?
I said you had something to add. You gonna say something?
Right. I'm just piggybacking off of what you said. That's the thing. We have to detox and regulate. And so someone asked the question, can we detox from these chemicals? Yes, we can. And so this is why, again, fasting, getting into herbs, learning about different herbs that detox the body, doing your parasite cleanses is super important, because we're not cleansing like we used to. It used to be a time when Nana come give you that enema, every season change, to clean out your guts. But getting colonics, from time to time and keeping your intestines flushed out and clean is really important, because it gets impacted with stuff. And making sure that you're getting your water in, making sure that you're, add that lemon water, drink that warm water, get into those things. But I'm gonna say this too, because what I noticed in the shamanic world, and I've had this conversation with other shamans, is I can talk to you all day long about plant medicines, or more along the lines of the hallucinogenic plant medicines is where shamanism tends to come in at. But I truly think that the best of us that really work with plant medicines work with all medicines, including those that are not hallucinogenic, because those herbs also have a lot to do with allowing us to purge and our diuretics and all of those kind of herbs that still cleanse the body and nourish the organs in different ways. So you still need to know about black walnut and dandelion root and and all of those kind of things, red clover, and you still need to know about blue lotus, and you still need to know about life everlasting, and you still need to know about licorice and all these different things. It's all connected, and all of that comes out of the mycelium network as well. So it's not just about the hallucinogenic medicines. It's about understanding that the whole herb and fruit and vegetable kingdom is also the mycelium network.
Yeah, and because when our bodies is inflamed, then that I'm gonna get to the next question. When I don't know if that's her, but when our bodies are inflamed, then once again our bodies cannot repair. Our bodies are prone to disease, and our nervous system certainly it struggles to relax. I don't know if we realize that even our nervous system on the inside, it looks like the mycelium network, in that it spreads out to all of these different organs.
Yes. Our neurotransmitters in the body looks like that. Our nerves and all of that looks exactly like the mycelium network. Because we are a reflection of nature, and nature is a reflection of us. So when we say ash to ashes, dust to dust, we go back to that. That's exactly what it is.
Correct. Whew. Okay, this next question says, what about MK Ultra?
So, okay, great question. MK Ultra, obviously mind control, right? So how do you get to the place where you can MK Ultra somebody? Because they've already, so again, you on all these chemicals, you're not connected to the mycelium network anymore. You're not feeling connected to the omnipresence. So now this is what we call a zombie. Okay. A zombie is somebody who is not connected to anything. This is what we call the NPCs, right? The non-player characters. This is where you fall into that. So if you're someone who's not tapped in and you are completely, just out here existing, and you're not living, and you're not your true human essence, you become easily programmable.
Listen, wait a minute, hold up. This is a good part. I need y'all to like and share this video. Like and share this video, because this is a key part that I know that you're getting ready to go into, because this is part of my issue. I said to you, and we didn't go into it too much, but the other part of why we're having this conversation is because I'm sick of people not thinking for themselves. And I was talking about the leadership crisis that we're in, because people are looking to be led versus looking to be led. Right. Mm-hmm. And it is extremely, to your point, it's like people are in a trance. They don't understand it.
You can't be led when you full of lead.
Eggs, well, absolutely. You can't be led when you're full of lead. Absolutely, absolutely. But see, okay, so you can't. But then if we're not honoring those parts, we have not even associated that with being a block and a barrier.
Right. But they already told us. So when we go on the religious side, what we're always told is don't question anything because it's blasphemous, right?
Yeah.
So that teaches us from an early age to not question anything and to just accept whatever it is that we're given. And so with that being said, our school system is about indoctrination. You know, they're not teaching us anything. You know, we're getting degrees, but we still don't know anything. You just learn something in a subject in an area, and now you're deemed to know it well enough to work in that field, so to speak. But at the end of the day, we're not actually developing ourselves on a higher intelligence, energetic level. We're being developed on a low vibrational, mundane level. So if you are underdeveloped and you don't have your spiritual essence activated, if your crown is not activated, if your spiritual body is not activated and you're in a mundane state, it is very easy for you to be mentally manipulated and to believe whatever is told to you. And because you're not connected, see, and so that whole thing is about turning you into a living android. So now you become the robot and they're your controller. That's what MK Ultra is. You are the robot and somebody else is controlling you. And they showed us that because the movies, let's talk about Get Out. Because Get Out was about showing this man being put into the sunken place of himself so that that woman could control him. She got the little T going, whatever, right? And so that was the trigger because there was something going on with him where he didn't have the spiritual protection. Now, his spidey sense was going off. He knew something was wrong and he was able to get out of there, but it was the fact that he was put into the sunken place. So when they put you in the sunken place within yourself, they now control your body. They become your avatar instead of you having control of your avatar.
Let me tell you something else. We talk about movies because it's all in plain sight. Do you remember The Wiz? And do you remember the poppy field scene?
Yes, The Wiz was scary. That was kind of creepy. I don't know. That movie creeped me out a little bit. Even still, when they was down in the robots was moving. Oh my God, that movie was creepy. They went into the creepy side.
It did make me scared when it first came out. But I brought that up because I'm in the process of writing a book. And I got this vision of the poppy seed. And how when people are in a trance, they're looking for this illusion called the whiz. And they're on this journey. Right? Just to find that the whiz is just like you, or just to find that there is no whiz at all and that the power is in you. Yep. But the fact that we allow ourselves to stay in this drunken state and that we allow ourselves to live there and don't even realize that we're falling into it is so disturbing to me on so many levels, especially with our people. It's disturbing to me that we don't question. It's disturbing to me that we don't get out and read a book outside of the Bible or get out and read a book outside of what we've been accustomed to. Why are we're not honoring all of who we are? And we're setting ourselves up to be led, to be controlled.
Listen, you have so many people that are afraid to delve deeper and to learn outside of the box that they've been given. And so, because again, it's the threat of going to hell. It's the threat of losing everything or the threat of being judged by your peers. You know, it's the threat, you know, and so people just feel like they can't, you know, and people get stuck in that, you know, and that's why I tell people, like, listen, why would the omnipresence not want you to do whatever it is you need to do to learn everything you can learn about it?
How about the omni-intelligent? You said omnipresent, but the omniscient. How about the omniscient who is all-knowing? Why wouldn't the omniscient, all-knowing, all science, why wouldn't that sovereign being want you to know outside. Do you understand? But see, this also ties into we don't believe in our own self-sovereignty.
Right, because we were taught to look at everything outside of ourselves and not the inner verse, but the outer verse. And so we're lost in that. So this is why everybody's always looking for a savior instead of looking at yourself as your own savior. Because nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. But if you are riddled with fear and you've been brainwashed, then you're gonna always be waiting for somebody. You still sitting there waiting for somebody to come out the clouds to say enough. Let me come get my people. You know, and it's like we've been waiting a long time for them trumpets. I'm still waiting for them trumpets. You know?
You're still
waiting. I'm just saying, let's be hypothetical right quick. How much more worse does it have to be for the trumpets? What else has to happen for something to come save us that we've been told is coming? How much more worse does it have to be? I mean, we're there. We're there. I think we're there now. It's time. It's time. It's been time. Why are we still waiting?
Oh my God.
We got to go through. How many more world wars do we have to go through? How many more people got to die? How much more cancer? How much more racism? How much more redlining? How much more MK Ultra? How much more drug abuse? How much more fake foods? How much more do we have to endure before our savior comes to save us?
Listen, you must have listen, when we stepped into that conversation, it made the internet mad because they restricted me on TikTok for 10 minutes.
Well, we doing something right then.
That's what I'm saying. We're hitting the nerve. That's like I said, and it could be some monitoring stuff too.
It could be somebody who was watching that flagged it because they didn't like what they were hearing. I see you. I said, now shut it down. Okay. What's it say? Let's see what she said. If y'all have any questions, we're going to be on here a few more minutes. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Okay, this says, I've been asking the same question all my life. How much worse can it get before the same? Is given he ain't. Listen, I'm just saying, what else got to happen until like it's 4 of us left on the planet, then we got to start over from scratch? Like, I'm just saying, like, at this point, we should be aware enough to know that we are our own saviors and we are the essence of God. We are the ones we've been waiting for, looking for, and needing all along. And this is why we're in a period of the Great Awakening. This is why this conversation we're having is now possible and digestible for more people to be able to be privy to these kind of conversations and stuff. These are the secret teachings that are now finally being able to be more public.
Listen, somebody on TikTok said they lied to us. Yes, they did. Not just lied to us. You said they hid things from us, but they hid it. The thing about it is, though, it was hid in plain sight because we didn't do our due diligence. You know what I'm saying? We haven't done our due diligence, but now there is a great awakening.
Yeah, I mean, some of us didn't know what the due diligence was, or that it was even a due diligence to be done. And see, that's the thing about the awakening, is that people are getting to the place where they're starting to realize that, you know, I mean, because let's be for real. I mean, you go into grocery stores and, you know, how is GMO, how is processed food so expensive? You know, I mean, and we already know that the health foods, the organic stuff, the healthy stuff costs you an arm and a leg. They're letting you know, we ain't trying to help you. We're not trying to help you break out of the matrix. We're not trying to feed you good foods. We're not trying to give you good, clean water. We're not trying to give you healthy environments, you know, things like that or whatever, because that's not what it's about. Your oppressors is not trying to liberate you. So this is why it's a self-motivated process that you have to decide what is going to work for you and what is not working for you. You're going to have to decide if you want to fast and detox, if you want to get on these herbs, if you want to try plant medicines, if you want to get back reconnected, if you want to step outside of the box that this society has told you that you belong, where you belong, because they're telling you where you belong. You're not getting to make that decision for yourself. And a lot of times, because we acquire these things through inheritance, most people are not choosing the religions that they're a part of. It's inherited because your mama did it and your grandmama did it and your great-grandparents did it. You automatically are born into a Christian family or a Baptist family or a Catholic family or Islamic family. So because of that, you weren't raised to question or to look over the fence at other religious or spiritual, bodies, because you already acquired one that's supposed to be your thing. So people are afraid to step out of that. And now it's like, nah, y'all, be brave. That's my message. Be brave. It's time. Be brave.
Be brave. Be brave. It's time. I love that.
That's my mantra this year. Be brave. And I say it all the time, Zema, be brave. Where can you be more brave?
Yeah.
Be brave.
Yeah. And I've been saying, self-initiate, stop waiting for someone.
Brave enough to self-initiate. Be brave enough to go against the status quo. Be brave enough to say this is right and this is wrong. Be brave enough to speak up and use your throat chakra, because so many people also are aware of these things, but they're not saying anything. And so,
but
part of the problem.
And anything, the silent culture that tells you that if you say something aloud, you're going to be punished, or you're going to be judged, or you're going to get in trouble, or God is going to get you. Do you understand how manipulative it is for you that we've been told you can't say X, Y, and Z, because if you say X, Y, and Z, then there's a punishment, there's a consequence.
Right. But think about how deep it is that the lowest vibrational beings that run this country, or if we want to use number 47, because I don't want to say, I don't want to get us, knocked off, but number 47 can get out here and say every crazy thing that comes to his mind with no boundaries, fearlessly breaking laws, and yet the everyday person can't find their voice. We got work to do.
Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong. Something, we do have work to do. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that.
Why are the low vibrational energies out here with such a loud voice?
Right. Why they out here? Yeah, dominating. Yeah. That's a whole problem. I did
we gotta be brave.
Yeah, I did a postie probably about 4 weeks ago or whatever, and I was saying that I believe that we're in a season where the truth tellers have to rise. It's time for the truth tellers to open up their mouths. And I saw someone else post, it's time to unmute yourself. That thing hit me.
Yes.
Take yourself off mute, baby.
Press your throat. Just press your throat. Just
take yourself off. Honey, when I saw her, and I have to give kudos to that. I saw it was Latanya Rebirth International, who I saw she posted on TikTok, and I had already been in this thing where I'm thinking about truth telling and what that looks like, the risk involved. And when she said, especially the Gen Xers, it's time to unmute, honey, that thing hit me so tough. If we can unmute and trust what is coming out of our mouths, trust that it's time to tell our story, trust that it's time. The thing about it is our heritage, our ancestors were rich in oral tradition.
Yes.
How did we get from that? You understand?
Yeah. And also us as Gen X generation, we need to tell the younger people that it's safe for them to be themselves. It's safe. Like, we need to give them permission sometimes. Like, hey, it's safe for y'all to speak up and say this, that, and the third, because sometimes they just don't feel supported in those spaces.
We're not doing it. We're not safe enough to do it. We're not safe.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, our parents are the baby boomers, right? And their parents was the silent generation. So Gen X was actually the first generation to have a voice.
Yeah, it was the bridge. It was the bridge. Yeah, yeah.
First generation that was willing to say something and speak up, a little bit, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, so that's why somebody like Malcolm X, and people like that who was really a part of kind of that silent, were kind of in that silent generation of their parents. It was such a big deal because nobody really saw people in those times of such depression and suppression and oppression being able to speak so clearly and so loudly and so truthfully. And so again, that's why they were a threat, and that's why unfortunately their fate was what it was. But we're not in that vortexual time anymore. We're in another time that's more lifted, more open, and more ready, and more freeing now. So it's safe to speak up more, but also be smart.
Be smart. Yeah. Yeah. Be wise. Be smart. Absolutely. Absolutely.
When's a good time and when it's not. You got to learn how to read the room. If you're going to exercise open consciousness, you have to know how to read the room. When's a good time to say it and when's not. And you got to know your audience.
Yeah. Timing is everything. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. I love that. Any questions? Y'all have any questions in the comment? This person says, I always ask if you want a high grocery bill or a high doctor bill. I'll take the high grocery bill every time. And I know that's right.
Yeah. I was just telling the client real quick. I was just telling the client yesterday that, because I was saying, hey, you need to get you some iron, this particular brand. And, it's like $40, $50 a bottle. And it's like, why is this so expensive? I'm like, okay, well, what's more expensive? You buying these vitamins that cost a little more for preventative care, or you having to get your breast removed? Or you having to go through chemotherapy? Or you having kidney failure?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So we have to talk about what's preventative care. Right. And at the end of the day, I'm a challenge everybody to look at how you're spending in the first place and look at the choices that you're making and that you're even in alignment in the first place. Because at the end of the day, it's like, all right, is it because, like if you're putting $1,000 into getting your hair done, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear what you can't afford. If you buying the $250, $300 sneakers, if you standing outside Foot Locker for 2 days to get a certain pair of sneakers, I don't want to hear it.
I'm sipping
and that's the Leo talking. That was my Leo and Rising and Aries that came out on that. Because people are like, I don't have the time, but you got time to watch Atlanta Housewives. I don't want to hear it. So when I work with my clients on just being a spiritual advisor, and they're like, I don't have time. I'm asking, okay, tell me what you're doing today. We're going to have to break it down because I'm going to tell you where I'm going to find the time at. Okay, that 2 hours you spend looking at your TV shows, that's your time right there to meditate and work on yourself and work on your own personal manifesto and creating who you are. That's your time right there. Yeah. Well, that's when I'm unwinding. No, because when you go give these people 8 to 10 to 12, 15 hours of your time and your life on somebody's clock, you're not going to tell me that you're not going to find at least an hour of time for something for yourself a day. We got to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, we got to get out of that. Yeah, we got to get out. And it's the excuse. Let's say, yeah, we got to get out of that. We got to get out of that.
You go and work for them tired. You go and work for them tired and drag yourself up. You tired when you get to work. Be tired when you work for yourself too. It's the same thing.
Listen, make yourself the priority. What's the priority and what do you really value at the end of the day? But that goes back to how we even attach our value to somebody seeing us work versus us seeing the value that we have within to make things happen for ourselves. That's that codependent. Right. Yeah. Okay. Do y'all have any questions? Any questions? This has been amazing. Any questions? While they're giving people a few minutes to ask questions, Zema, tell us how we can get in contact with you, your contact information.
Yes, you can get in contact with me. So on IG, I'm Sheka Zema Lovefire, as it's spelled on my screen there. On Instagram, I'm Zema Lovefire, Zema Lovefire. On Facebook, my personal page on Facebook is Zema Jackson. Okay, so I encourage you to follow that page as well as my public page, which is Zema Lovefire. So I have 2 different pages, several pages anyway. But yeah, Yeah, so that's where you can find me in those places. If you need to reach me directly, my email address is zemalovefire@gmail.com. You can find me there. And my direct line, because I work with people, I do plant medicine ceremonies. So if you're interested, you have questions, things like that, I can also be reached 470-242-1659.
No, that was fast. Give it again.
I'm sorry, 470-242-1659 is my direct business line.
Not able to put it in
Yeah,
TikTok.
I wanted to mention right quick too. I'm doing a
Yeah, I was gonna say
6 to probably an 8-week course called The Art of Medicine that I'll be starting in March or April. So for people who are interested in getting into shamanic work, that want to delve deeper, that really want to do that, and this also includes for people who are local to Georgia who can travel, it also would include you sitting in some plant medicine ceremonies as well along the course too, to just introduce you and allow you in a safe space to try some of these things if you're a newcomer to this world as well. With that.
Okay. And tell them about your event at the end of the month for those who are local to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, so January 31st, we're doing me and a brother named Aloha El Sun. Okay, isn't that a beautiful Aloha El Sun? I think it's an amazing name. But he and I are collaborating on what we're calling Sounds of Mycelium. And we're doing a series of these where it'll be about 4 or 5. And so we're addressing the chakra system. So we're starting with the Earth Star chakra and the root chakra, and also addressing the nervous system through sound and healing and vibrational therapy. We're also doing a white floral head cleansing and clearing ceremony as well. So you can get your head back together, because if you take the head, the body follows. So we got to reclaim our heads again, our ori, right? So that's also a part of it as well. So there'll be live music, and we'll also be including some plant medicines. I don't want to get into that on this live, but there will be a plant medicine that will definitely tap us into the Mycelium network that we will also be utilizing. And that is, again, January 31st here in the Atlanta area. So again, if you're interested and you want to sign up, 470-242-1659. And I have flyers on all of my social media sites as well that has information about that too. So you can also find me through those flyers that are pinned to my social media sites as well.
Okay. I'll tell you all how to get in contact with me in a second. There was one other question here, Zema. It said that it sounds like you might need to go back to the beginning. You defined it before, but the Mycelium network in a few words.
Oh, the Mycelium network is the network of our planet. It's the neural network of the planet that connects everything. So, like I said, the book text definition is what's underground that's connected to the trees. The Mycelium network is a fungi, right? And so mushrooms is the fruit of that. So it looks like veins all underneath the ground. So it's what connects us to everything.
Yeah,
and connects the planet to everything. So we attach to it through consuming plant medicines, taking herbs and eating plants and vegetables, but we also connect through it through our etheric connection to it as well, our psychic connection as well.
Yeah, and I was going to add to it a couple of things. It's referred to as I don't know if you said this, the nervous system of the planet, and also the worldwide net. How do you say worldwide world net? Yeah. Yep.
It's the original computer.
Yeah, the original computer, right?
It's the computer system, the neurological computer system of the planet,
of the earth, on the ground. Yep.
Yeah, of the earth, of the planet. Yes.
Yep.
That's the simple term definition.
That's awesome. For those who are interested in getting in contact with me, I am once again Lady Jesaira of the Oasis Sanctuary. You can always get in contact with me on all of the social media platforms. I'm the Oasis Sanctuary. The Oasis Sanctuary. My website is www.theoasissanctuary.net. I'm working on several things, hosting a webinar, Empower Her Now, next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. If you're interested, let me know and I can send you the information. That is a free masterclass that I'm going to be hosting. I also am going to be doing more in the area of sound, similar to Zema, because I told you all that's part of what I do as well. And those who are in the Atlanta area, I offer not only virtual Reiki, but I do it mobile Reiki as well. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And then of course I'm a licensed therapist, and for those who are in need of therapy, I'm licensed in Georgia, Maryland, and Florida. Okay, look at Zima face. Zima's like, that's low.
I'm here for it. It's reminding me of things I didn't say. Like, I'm like, oh, and by the way, if you're interested in learning to be a Reiki master, get at me. I certify in that as well. If you're local and you want to get a Reiki session or a healing session, I do psychic surgery as well, ancestral readings as well. So divination as well. So me and Jesaira, we cross, over in a lot of ways. So so hence why we're here is because we have that connection. So we both do a lot of multidimensional healing work.
Yes, because we care about healing from a holistic lens. That's why we do it. We care about that. Yeah, absolutely. Are there any final questions before we get off? Any final questions? Any final questions? Any final questions? Any final questions? Let's see. And Zema, what is your in case somebody just wanted to like exchange energy with you in the form of money, if they wanted to do that, what's your cash app if they wanted to do that tonight? Because this was so wonderful if they wanted to do that.
Oh, thanks. If anybody, right. If everybody on here just sent me $1, look, no, I'm sorry. So $ Zema Love Fire, just how you see it on the screen, ZEMALOVEFIRE. So $ Zema Love Fire. And that's Cash App. Mm-hmm. That's Cash App. If you want to do Zelle, it's zemalovefire@gmail.com, which is my email address, zemalovefire@gmail.com. So I make spiritual baths. I make crystal elixirs as well. I make spiritual talismans. Behind the scenes, I haven't put it out there like yet. I may do that this year, but I also make staffs that I channel for people. So I do a lot of channel work as well as far as creating things and stuff. So I also have a technology that I've been pushing for a few years. Some people don't get it, but it's basically Reiki infused temporary tattoos that you could get. And when you put it on your body, it radiates energy throughout your body for up to 7 days. So it's good for pre and post surgery, and if you're going through chemo, and you can put it on babies on their back where they can't reach it and things like that. So accelerated healing.
I love that. She's amazing. We need a hug. We need to hug the tree in front of you. Yes, Zema.
Hug those trees, and those trees hug you back. And this is what I wanted to say too about. I'm glad you said tree. I wanted to say this earlier. Trees are just living libraries. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes. And they have history. Yes.
Libraries. So if you, let me tell you something. If you really, I'm a big tree person. Angel trees. I love going to huge 300-year-old trees. I've been to all of those kind of things in America. And this is what I want to say to you. These trees are libraries. If you learn how to use a pendulum, you can ask whatever you want to ask to a tree or any body in nature, what you want to ask. Just something as simple as asking a tree if it's male or female with a pendulum. It'll tell you yes or no. Trees have names. If you have a real psychic connection, because I have all the what I call all of the audience, the clairs, the clairaudience, claircognizance, clair. So if you get to a place where you get your pineal gland open enough and you can start having psychic connections, trees have names and they're male or female, and they'll talk to you and they'll let you know things. And listen, go tell your problems to a tree. Because when you tell your problems to a tree and what you're trying to do, all of what you're saying goes into the mycelium network, and they start doing stuff so that they can start helping you in your life. And you'll be surprised, because listen, think about this. You start talking to the tree about something that you need, and because everybody has to walk on this planet, your message ends up going into the feet of the person that's supposed to help you. Let me tell you something. This thing is beautifully deep.
Yes, it's transmuted. I was going to say, the reason I went to the tree is because I was looking for an answer. And I got, like you said, I absolutely got the answer, and I got so much more.
Yes.
For me, it connected me to the energetic field of the earth and everything nature around me, to your point, right? And so, yeah, don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Because if you think about a tree that's pretty large size, is usually at least 50 plus years old. And that's young. But you talk about a tree that's, 7,500, 100 something years old, that's been sitting in that one place for that long. So you talk about a tree that's been there before these houses was around it, before all of these lights and stuff was created, and all of these different things. It's an ancient library that is, and it doesn't even have to be an old tree, because they're all connected by the roots. So it still has the information from the older trees that is in the area. So the point I'm trying to make is, this is a really big deal when it comes to understanding that these trees carry a lot of remembrance as well about the area that you're in. So if you really want to learn about the area that you're in, talking to that rock is a thing. Talking to that tree is a thing. Talking to the water is a real thing about connecting to the mycelium network and being a part of that Ethernet system.
Whew, this is so good. So good. So good. So
this went by so fast. I cannot believe we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes. Where did the time go, Sarah?
It did. It went by so fast, and it was so amazing. And I didn't even really look at my notes. This has been.
Listen, I didn't either. I'm just what?
Been absolutely amazing. I'm so happy that you agreed to do this with me. For those who are wondering, I intend to do more lives of this nature this year. In 2020, I used to host the show Weekly Dose of Lady J, and I had gotten away from it. But I'm feeling pulled to do it again, because I really, really have this. I feel compelled to shake and to wake people, to shake us, to shake us.
Absolutely. Thank you for the Cash App, whoever sent me that. Give thanks and praise. May that come back to you tenfold.
Good. All right. Okay. This has been absolutely amazing. I am so grateful. You're so welcome. So welcome. I'm happy that you all found it enlightening. If y'all can just sound off for me in the chat, letting Zema know, letting me know, encourage me as well. Let me know, let us know that this was good.
Awesome. And thank you to Lady J. I appreciate you. I have nothing but love and the utmost respect for you. And from the day that we met, it just was like a beautiful sisterhood. So thank you so much for, just pulling this together and, allowing us to have and create this space for those that really wanted to learn and hear more about this. So thank you so much. And I guess in closing out, did we really touch on the leadership part? I don't know, but I think we did good though.
I think we did. And I was going to say, if y'all want more of this, let me know. Hit me up privately and let me know if you want more of this. I had to pull my sister / Charmin out because she was trying to lead the social media streets. And I told her, we need you in these streets. We don't need you going nowhere. We need your voice. And so I'm so happy that she agreed to do this. And if, once again, if you want to, y'all say, hey, we want to do this again or take it, let me know. I'll bring other people. I'm so fortunate. I feel like a vault of connections that Spirit has afforded me. And I'm very, very grateful. I don't stand in my own power. I stand interconnected, and I stand on the shoulders of so many. And I'm so grateful. So grateful.
And absolutely. Thank you. And I want to close up by saying, with Earth leadership, you can't properly lead others until you can learn how to lead yourself.
That's it. That was the whole. That's it. That's it. That's what I started off with, and that's what I'll close with. Thank y'all so much. Like this once again, share it. I want people to hear more and more about this because I believe that this is an impactful live. All right. So y'all have a good night. Zema, you stay right there. Y'all have a good night. Peace and blessings. Bye.